Everyone, this is Dr. Sheenam Bansal. So today we will do calcaneum fractures. See calcaneum fractures. Firstly, we have intra-articular fractures, extra-articular fractures. In the intra-articular fractures, most commonly fractures occur intra-articular, 66 to 75%. Mechanism of injury is, as you already know, axial loading. It can occur from the fall from height or road traffic accident. Spheromedial fragment occurs that is on the medial side. It is also called constant fragment. It has various ligament attachments on this fragment. There also occurs spherolateral fragment. In the extra-articular fractures, we have tuberosity fractures. We know tuberosity fractures are emergency to operate. Okay. Otherwise, skin necrosis can occur. Tuberosity fractures, in the tuberosity fractures, we can have skin necrosis. So it should be operated urgently. Anterior process fractures occur cause of the attachment of bifurcate ligament here. Bifurcate ligament attaches calcaneum to navicular and cuboid. Okay, then we have anterior process fractures can occur due to the plantar flexion, sudden plantar flexion. Sustentaculum talli is on the medial side. Underneath passes flexor hallucis longus tendon, which can be pierced or damaged with the lateral to medial screws. Then we have tuberosity fractures can occur due to violent contraction of triceps surae with dorsiflexed foot or with knee in full extension. Then we will discuss anatomy of calcaneum in brief. There are three facets: posterior, middle, and anterior process. In between the posterior and middle facet passes the canal that makes sinus tarsi with the tarsal canal. Then we have sustentaculum talli. You know, we have this sustentaculum talli on the medial side. Flexor hallucis longus tendon passes under it. On sustentaculum talli, we have attachment of deltoid and talocalcaneal ligaments. These two ligament attaches or connects the calcaneum to the talus. Then we have bifurcate ligament. As we already know, it attaches calcaneum to navicular and cuboid. For the intra-articular fractures, we have Sanders classification, that is of four types. Type 1 is non-displaced. Type 2, one fracture line. If there is lateral fracture line in the posterior facet, then we have 2A, central, 2B, medial, 2C. In the type 3, we have two fracture lines. Type 4 is comminuted. The radiographs to get done in the case of calcaneum fracture is AP view, lateral view, and oblique view, Broaden and Harris view. Broaden view is important in intraoperative reduction of the fracture. To check the posterior facet, Broaden view can be used to see the posterior facet. It is done in the neutral dorsiflexion at 40 degree, 30 degree, 20 degree, 10 degree beams. Okay, and there should be 45-degree internal rotation. So with ankle in neutral dorsiflexion and 45-degree internal rotation, take x-rays of at 40, 30, 20 and 10 degrees cephalad from the neutral. Harris view is used to see the tuberosity. Maximum dorsiflexion is done. X-ray beam at 45 degree. Gissane angle is 120 to 140 degree normal. Line along lateral margin of posterior facet is drawn, plus line anterior to beak of calcaneus is drawn. Bowler angle is highest point of anterior process to highest point of posterior facet. Then second line is line tangential to superior edge of tuberosity. This is the Bowler angle. It is normally 20 to 40 degree. Now we have two approaches for calcaneum fractures. Extensile lateral approach, that is incision is given between the Achilles tendon and fibula. Disadvantage is sural nerve can be damaged. There is watershed area between peroneal artery and posterior tibial artery that may be damaged, and so poor healing is there. Second approach is sinus tarsi approach, fourth metatarsal to fibular tip, less soft tissue dissection. Its advantage is less soft tissue dissection, no injury to the nerve, and posterior facet can be visualized more clearly. Now, in the treatment options, we have cast and non-weight bearing for 6 weeks in calcaneum stress fractures. Cast and non-weight bearing for 12 weeks is done in small extraarticular fractures, that is less than 1 centimeter with less than 2 millimeter displacement. Sanders type 1, normal Bowler angle, anterior process fracture with less than 25% of calcaneocuboid joint involvement. Pinning is done in large extraarticular fractures and with peripheral vascular diseases. In ORIF is done in case of large extraarticular fractures with more than 2 millimeter displacement, Sanders type 2 and type 3, anterior process fracture with more than 25% of calcaneocuboid joint involvement. Okay. Common complications are subtalar arthritis. Patient will come to you complaining, walking on the rough surfaces because he will have problem in inversion and eversion. Cause of subtalar incongruity. So you can give NSAIDs, you can give ankle brace, or you can do subtalar arthrodesis. Calcaneum malunion can occur, cause of loss of height, whitening, and lateral impingement. In the calcaneum fracture, sometimes between the fragment and calcaneum, what peroneal tendons can be there. So its impingement can also occur. Subtalar arthrodesis can be done in these cases. So this was all about calcaneum fractures.